Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports. Today I'm going to share with you another item in my collection that is Olympic related. Again, I'm sharing these items with you to celebrate of this year's 2020 Olympics. So here's something that I've had in my collection for quite a while. And this is something that I picked up years ago on eBay. I did not get this personally signed myself, but this is a program celebrating the 100 years of the Olympics. And it's kind of a neat little program, and it's not signed anywhere on the inside, but I'll kind of thumb through it with you really quick here. But it talks about automobiles in here, and it also talks about some of the Olympic things that happened throughout the years. So it's more of a kind of an advertisement type of thing more than anything. And my guess is maybe that some car dealership or something maybe had a promotion, and this was the item maybe that they were giving out. And I'm not really sure the origin of how this got signed. However, I was able to go through most of the signatures, and it is signed by 15 different people. I was able to figure out 13 of the 15. Now there's some really obscure people on here, and there's some really well-known people on here. So if you happen to see a signature on there that I can't identify, there's two of them on here. Feel free to, say something down in the comments below, but I'll go through these really quick, and I'll just kind of show you. I have a little cheat sheet here that I wrote up that I will go over, and I'll show it all to you at the end here. So down here in the bottom right corner is former swimming four-time gold medalist Janet Evans, which is a pretty neat one to have. This one is Karen Cortland, and she's a figure skater, so this item has both winter and summer Olympic autographs on it. This is Brandi Johnson, and Brandi Johnson, what did she do? She was a water skiing Olympian, which I didn't even realize water skiing was an Olympic sport, but apparently in 1988 it was. This is Greg Curtis, and he's involved in gymnastics. This is Olympic gold medalist Mike Orozioni of the 1980 United States hockey team. So very notable name right there. This is Phoebe Mills, a women's gymnastics event from 1988. Now down here in the corner is the first one I can't identify, and it says, I want to say it says Dan Soto, but as much as I looked up Dan Soto, I could not find a Dan Soto that was in the 76 and 1980 Olympics. So I'm not really sure who that autograph is right there. Now with that being said, right above that is boxing great Leon Spanx. And Leon Spanx was in the 1976 Olympics, and I almost thought that maybe Leon Spanx signed this and maybe wrote something like USA 76 and 80. But from my knowledge, he was not in the 1980 Olympics. So I thought maybe he wrote, a message there, but I think that is a separate autograph. Or it just could be some sort of inscription that Leon Spanx put there. So Leon Spanx, another notable one that's on there. This is Dave Frank, and his event was the steeplechase, which is track and field related, and I don't know a lot about the steeplechase, but that's who that is. And this is Chuck Burke, 1952 and 1956 Olympic speed skating. So there's a speed skater. And right above him is another gymnast, Tony Pineda, 1984 and 1988. You can see that he actually drew the Olympic symbols in his signature, which is kind of neat. Above him is, who is this? Pete Moeller, and he is another speed skater from 1976. He won the gold medal in 1976, Mr. Moeller did. This one was kind of hard to read, and I'm guessing that Pete Moeller This is his wife, Leah Paulus Moeller. I'm just going to say that maybe they're husband and wife. I'm just going to guess on that, maybe. I could be wrong. But Leah Paulus Moeller is a speed skater as well. So it makes sense that the two of them both are speed skaters and they're right next to each other. Now, this one right where it says 100 years, this is another mystery signature. And I was able to decipher that I think it says Nate Jones or Nathaniel Jones. And Nate Jones was a boxer in the 1996 Olympics and he got the bronze medal. So it's possible. I almost wish he put his year there because that would really help me. But if you look closely, it looks like Nathaniel Jones. I'm just saying that's what it looks like, but I could be wrong. So this Nathaniel Jones I think is right, and this Dan Soto are the only two that I can't really identify. Now this next one is really neat, and this is a notable name, not so much himself, but to me, I know who he is, and that is Michael Conley Sr., Olympic gold 1992. And Michael Conley Sr. is the father of basketball star Michael Conley Jr. So this is actually the track star Michael Conley's autograph. And I was able to confirm that because I was able to find a dual autograph of him and his son, and that is the signature that Mike Conley Sr. signed. So this is kind of a neat little program that I picked up years ago. We're talking like in the early 2000s, I want to say, and maybe even the mid 2000s while I was in college. And I never knew who signed it other than a couple names, Leon Spanx, for example. But I did not realize Mike Conley Sr. was on there until I started doing my research. Now, as I was going through my items, I'm just going to throw in a bonus item here. I kind of wish I would have had this at the time, or I had this with me when I had her sign. But this is the autograph of Jackie Joyner Kersey. And Jackie Joyner Kersey, if you're an Olympic fan, you definitely know who this is. This is possibly one of the greatest female athletes ever in Olympic history. She won tons of gold medals back in the 80s and 90s at the Olympics, and I actually had the opportunity to meet Jackie a few times in my life. We had the first time I got her autograph was through a mutual friend. She actually went to high school nearby where my father went to high school, and I happened to have a part-time job working with her former high school principal, and he said that he knew her, so I gave him a couple items to get signed, and he got them signed for me. Well, this was at an event that I didn't know she was going to be at, and this was the only thing that I had on me for to sign, and all it is an oversized index card. So I stuck an oversized index card out in front of her, and she signed it for me, and I've had it in my collection ever since. But when I was looking for this book today, I came across this, and I thought, well, I should just include Jackie's autograph in the video as well. So I typed up my little list. I try to do this for signed programs. I've really fallen behind. Sometimes I buy something, I throw it in a box, and I forget I own it. That's kind of the case with this. I knew I had it, but it took me a little while to find it. And I typed this up, and now I'm going to put this back in the box that I found it in with this list, so I know who signed the darn thing next time I pull it out. And maybe I'll get another chance to see Jackie, and I'll have her sign it as well. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was another cool item that I wanted to share with you to celebrate the Olympics that didn't happen in 2020. So in 2021, hopefully the Olympics are able to be played and we can enjoy all those awesome athletes doing the things that they do, playing the sports that they play. And thank you again for joining me for another episode. I look forward to your comments below.